Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the channel. Hey, today we're going to go from Lusk, Wyoming to Gillette, Wyoming, and I hope to take in some back roads today. So let's get started and hit the trail. As we gas up before we hit the road here from Lusk, Wyoming, I gotta tell you, I'm really excited about today because today is going to be very, very special for me, and I need to explain why. Today we're going to be heading up to Newcastle and Upton, Wyoming, an area that I'm very familiar with. In 1987, I started going to the Upton area, more specifically the Rankin Ranch, to go hunting with a friend of mine and his father. At that time, the matriarch and patriarch of the ranch was Charlie and Dee Rankin. Their two sons, Raymond and Curtis, still remained on the ranch to help run the place. Dee and Charlie have passed now, but Curtis still remains on the ranch and runs it as a working cattle ranch. I have strong and fond memories of the Rankin Ranch, and Charlie specifically. He was quite the character. Charlie was born on the ranch in a log cabin that still existed on the ranch when we started going out there. It now resides outside the town of Upton as a display. Charlie was a barrel-chested man and strong as an ox. He had a wit and a sense of humor that you really had to pay attention to because it was a little sarcastic and you needed to be able to catch on to what he was teasing you about. One of my fondest memories of Charlie was the day that Curtis and Raymond were out roping cows. They competed in rodeos and were quite the pair and had won numerous rodeos in the Western Circuit. But Charlie was watching them practice in the corral there, and he looked over at us and said, "Watch this, I'm going to go out there and show those boys how to rope." Charlie was well into his 60s at this particular point in time, and he roped that steer on the first try. The last time I saw Charlie, Dee had passed, and he was having trouble getting his shoes on. I was honored to be able to help him get those shoes on. As we roll into the town of Upton, few things have changed. Few things have been modernized, like a gas station, but otherwise the town looks pretty much like it did 30 years ago. Before heading to the Rankin Ranch, I have to take a ride through town here just to look everything over. It just has a flood of memories come back of places that we had gone here in town and things that we had done. We looped through the grocery store, which at one time had the only gas pumps in town, and then headed back out to where we turn and go south toward the Rankin Ranch. Here we go. As we headed south out of town, we passed by the school sections, a place that I knew really well because we hunted those sections pretty frequently. We also went by the old corral area, and as we got further south, we got to where we could see Soda Butte. Soda Butte is a big landmark about where you turn off to go to the Rankin Ranch. At one time, Brian, Sherry, and I had walked to the top of Soda Butte, which is just coming into view here. And we told Charlie that we had gone to the top of Soda Butte, and he scoffed at us and laughed. He goes, "I've lived here all my life. Never been to the top of Soda Butte. Never saw any reason to go there." To this day, I laugh about that. That was Charlie. Straight to the point and always very practical. As we roll up on our final turn here on the county road that takes us to the ranch, I just get a feeling of total relaxation and feeling like it's nice to be back. Well, here we are, and I see they've changed the sign out at the end of the driveway here to this beautiful engraved stone marker. The driveway winds around a little bit until you pop up over the hill where you get a view of the ranch. I remember the ranch in several different stages because the boys, over time, would put in a new hay barn, a new shop, and a new trailer, and a new house. And so I remember the ranch in stages. Curtis and Raymond put up most of these buildings themselves. And if they needed an item, a particular tool, and it didn't exist, they just made it, including machinery for the ranch. I don't see Curtis at his house or at the new workshop and implement shed. So I think I know where I can probably find him, and that's in the old tool shop. That's the most likely place where I can find him working or getting ready to go out and do something. There we go, dude. I think I found him.
Like the wide open spaces, huh?
Curtis, good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you too.
Looks like you got some company there, all ready to go.
Yeah, he's always ready.
You gonna head on out?
No, I just thought you guys were about to show up, so I just got done talking to Sarah a little bit ago. And thought, well, and then I heard you, and I thought, well, I'll just sit right here.
Daughter just found out she had it. She moved to her husband's in the Air Force. You got some friends.
Can be a YouTube star. Oh, absolutely, they ride them. Yeah. Yeah, these horses are the ones they ride. Probably when they're moving cattle around, this is probably how they do it, I'm guessing. Beautiful horses. Great shape. This section of the yard right here by the house was always green. Dee made sure that this was irrigated in here, and they protected their rabbits and their mule deer. It was understood that nobody messed with Dee's mule deer, especially while they were in the front yard. It didn't make any difference how big that buck might be. What a wonderful visit we had, but it was finally time to say goodbye and head out on the road. We were going to do something special here for you. I was impressed in how good a shape the gravel roads were on my way in, but we're headed to a section where the road turns to dirt, and it's dirt for a long, long way in a really remote area where there's no ranches and no cattle and only wildlife. This is where the road turns to dirt. Not many people probably come back here, and they certainly don't come back here when the weather's bad, because this road would be impassable, even for four-wheel drive pickup trucks. I've been back here many, many times over the years, and I was surprised to see that the road was actually in worse shape than what I remembered it. This road has some steep up and down sections, and it also has ruts and washed out areas in places. But the trade-off is you get to see some beautiful country that is little changed in thousands of years. In a different era and time period, when trapping was commonplace, the Rankin boys, Curtis and Raymond, ran trap lines back in this remote area. They have a picture that is actually several pictures of all the pelts that they got in one season. We're talking hundreds of pelts, and at one time the fur market was a very, very good business to be in to supplement your income. Back then, trapping made sense because they moved the cattle off the ranch because the winters are so harsh here in Wyoming. And in the winter is when you do your trapping. We have made the loop now, and as you look to the left here, we're high enough you can see the Upton, Wyoming area. Crossing this cattle gate and through the fence means that we're back where the ranches are at. What a beautiful country this is, and I hope you've enjoyed mostly unedited video here as we take this dirt road through the Thunder Basin National Grassland area. These remote corrals are still used to load up the cattle into semis so that they can move them out of the area easier. Can you imagine living here with no roads in sight? At one time, that's how it was, and the winters out here would have been very, very harsh. As we passed by this corral, I waved at the cowboys, but I'm sure they were totally perplexed that there was a group of motorcyclists coming out of the backcountry. The nicely graveled road is an indication that ranches are soon to come and we're getting closer to the highway. These fawn antelope have probably never seen a motorcycle in their young lives, and they don't quite know what to make of the motorcycles. For a while they run pretty hard, but then seem to tucker out just a little bit, and we try hard not to pressure them as we film them. They are so doggone cute. On our way out, we ride through this pasture where they've segregated the bulls away from the cows. Bulls can be a little persnickety at times, so we're a little cautious as we pass through them. With the fun back road section behind us, we hit the highway and head toward Gillette, Wyoming, but not before we run into some trouble. Unbeknownst to us at the time, we're heading straight toward a severe thunderstorm. It was described as a supercell with extremely high winds, rain, and hail. Yes, those are storm clouds, and we can see rain coming out of them. At this time, we know we're going to hit some rain. Just as we travel by the open pit mines south of Gillette, Wyoming, we can see that the rain's coming, and there's no way to avoid it. We're going to get hit. We drove through a severe thunderstorm, and it was right in the path of where we were trying to go to Gillette, Wyoming. And so we diverted south on the highway to get away from the storm. And now we're just on the side of the road waiting it out. Hopefully that storm will blow through and we can make it to Gillette yet tonight sometime. This is really cute here. They got a saddle on Dino the Dino. Here's Sherry striking the pose. Okay, today we started out in Lusk, Wyoming, which is right here. And we took Highway 85 up to Newcastle, then 16 up to a little town called Upton up here. We came south on 116, then we did a big loop that was on the dirt road, which I hoped you really liked that. Then we came south on 116 and picked up 450 and ran that west to near Wright, Wyoming. And there was a big thunderstorm all going through this area, severe thunderstorm, hail, and we drove through that. The video will attest to that. So we drove south to get out of the storm and then just sat on the side of the road for probably 45 minutes to an hour to let the storm pass. And then we got right back on the highway and drove north here to Gillette, Wyoming. And so that's where we're going to spend the night, in Gillette, Wyoming. And then tomorrow we'll cross into Montana and head toward Billings. When we were getting to leave the ranch with our chat with Curtis, he wished that we would get wet because they desperately need rain. He said it tongue-in-cheek, and I know he didn't wish us any ill. But Curtis, you were right. We got soaked, absolutely soaked. Heavy winds, rain, hail, you name it, we got it. Luckily, we were able to get out of it, so we didn't have to drive through it too terribly long. The only thing with our chat is that I missed seeing Mary and his daughter, Sarah. I wish so much that they'd have been there because I haven't seen either one for years now, and it would have been nice to say hi to them. So if you're watching this video, Mary and Sarah, thank you so much for all the years that I had there on your ranch. They were wonderful years, and I really enjoyed it. And I wish you all the best. Until we meet each other again, take care.
End of another great day of riding. We traveled from Lusk, Wyoming to Gillette, Wyoming, and got to see an old friend, Curtis Rankin, who we haven't seen. Well, I haven't seen, I decided, for over 30 years. So that was a lot of fun. We went on some back roads, and that was a lot of fun. And we had some really exciting times with the high winds, rain, and hail. So all that was fun, and we're ready to relax for a good night and hit it again tomorrow.